Hi, my name is Father Eric Zimmer, and I am a Jesuit priest. I've been a Jesuit for nearly 30 years. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm the third of 5 children. My parents are immigrants to the United States, and for me, I've always been kind of on the edge, if you will, in terms of culture, in terms of a lot of different things, and that has really influenced my process, my entrance into the Society of Jesus. I went to the Jesuit High School in Detroit, where I was very much formed by Jesuits, worked in the Jesuit community, washing dishes, knew a lot of Jesuits. They were constantly at my parents' home for dinner. They were friends of my parents. My parents were the type of people who would go out and bring people in from the wayside to be in their home, and that was very much an influence in my life. I really embraced in high school the notion of service. I saw that with my family, and I followed that same custom. So in high school, I did tutoring of inner city kids. I ran a tutoring program for kids in our high school. I was doing a lot of different things with soup kitchens and whatnot. And so when I finished high school, I went off to college having this idea that there was a part of me that was just very much involved in service and involved in Catholic-based service. But I also had this vision of myself in being a success in some other way, perhaps in business and law or something. And I went off to college in Chicago and found myself applying myself to my studies and spending a huge amount of time doing that, but not really sure of what it was that I wanted to be. I thought I knew what I wanted to be, but I wasn't exactly sure, as it turns out, because when I really started to focus much more so on my work, on my studies, I did not find myself at ease. And so I found myself thinking, well, where do I find myself at ease? Where do I find myself at home? And I started to find what I would call sort of a soft but insistent voice in my life, asking me if I wasn't really suited to something slightly different than what I was headed towards. And initially I couldn't really get my mind around that, or couldn't really buy into that, and it wasn't really clear where that was leading. But then I started asking myself, where is it that I spend my time when no one else is watching, when I don't have to do something for school or to earn money for my tuition? And it was in types of service, particularly faith-based service. And so I looked at my day-to-day life and said, well, maybe you want to think about this. I didn't like that question, and I didn't like where I thought it was heading. But that soft but insistent voice just didn't go away. So I found myself contacting the Jesuits back at my high school, and they put me in touch with a vocation director, and we had our conversations, and I kept hoping that I would be told, no, this isn't going to work out for you. The Society of Jesus has other expectations, and you're not part of them. And yet they didn't. And after a couple of years of college, I was accepted into the novitiate. I was 20 years old. And my family, when I told them about my interest in a vocation in the Society of Jesus, could not have been more supportive. It was a great honor for my parents to have a child who had a religious vocation and a priestly vocation. And they could not have been more supportive. And it was simply what I guess my family and my friends seemed to think a natural progression for me. I didn't necessarily see it myself initially, but when they heard about it, they simply said, well, of course, what else would you be doing? Which seemed the oddest thing for them to say, but it also was very accurate and very truthful. So when I entered the society, the society is one of the things that attracted me to the society was all the things the society does. So from schools to universities to mission work to parish work to retreats. And I have been blessed to be able to do a good number of these things. I've worked in high schools, I've worked in universities, I've worked as a missionary in very poor environments. I've worked for the Holy See, I worked for the Vatican. Here now at Creighton University, I'm the Director of Leadership Development and Associate Professor in the School of Medicine. So you can see all over the place. But one thing that has been for me an ongoing blessing in my vocation as a Jesuit is the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius have allowed me to focus in a way and keep balance in my vocation in a way that I would never have dreamt possible before I entered the society. But also when I reflect on my priestly ministry as a Jesuit, I've been in places and worked with people that I would have never encountered if I weren't a Jesuit. I've worked with the very, very poor and people who are not poor at all, the rich and powerful, and everyone in between. And I found that being a Jesuit has opened up doors for me in my ministry. And when I am celebrating Mass or hearing confessions or doing any of the other many things that a priest does, I find the Spirit moving in me. I find myself an instrument of God's will. Things that would never be possible for me if I were trying to do them on my own are not only possible but bear great and bounteous fruit. And so for me, those blessings are really notable as a Jesuit and as a priest in the Catholic Church.